Welcome, everybody. It's been a long time for you fucks. We talk all the time. We've attempted many podcasts. Did they come out? No. We got busy with life. So, fuck your life, man.
Yeah.
It's your host with the most, Johnny Currian. It's my name, and my name is my name. So, shouts out Pusha T. Shouts out Adonis, because he would have never known his father without him. Let's go.
Yeah, Adonis would not know his father's name if it wasn't for the Nen, whose name was his name. I heard trying the ugliest dog I've ever seen in my life. I would have roasted that nigga if I was in first grade with him. Like, damn, bitch, your dog got no tail.
I still haven't seen a cover. I heard about it.
That shit be looking like a Basquiat. I'm like, bro, what's been going on with your life?
Say,
Like,
you think he actually drew it?
Probably, I'll give it to him.
that's the question. Sterling, okay, that's I don't know. I'd consider somebody else maybe drawing it.
Some 43-year-old in marketing drew that shit.
Touched it up a little.
That shit.
Yeah, right.
They probably made him color it in. Oh shit. Hey, hello, it's me, the Hokage Village and Leaves, the commander of the Scout Regiment, the king of the Parish Commissioner of the CCG, the principal of the Hero Academy, the captain, and also commander of the Gotier 13, leader of the Hishin Unit, General Rebel Army, Kakashi Hatsuke, Jiraiya Sensei, Vince Smoke Sanji, Oden Tama, the husband of Rikiku, Nathaniel Cole Jackson. I still love you. We're to talk again.
And it's your boy, Young Sterlz, aka Mr. Bucket, aka Mr. Pooler for no reason. And now
Damn.
Sterlz with the braids.
Sterlz
Yeah, he
with
got
the
the
braids. Oh shit. That's motherfucking Sterlz Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, I had to switch it up.
Yeah.
One time.
Damn. This nigga's take every hoe in the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Leave some for us, Sterlz.
Out here looking like a young 2000s R&B singer.
For real. That nigga look like a Marion right now. Hey, speaking of braids, I might have to make my next trip to fucking Istanbul soon.
Oh, why's that?
I might get that motherfucking hair in me.
Oh, okay, word, bro. Let's get into it, man.
I'm about to,
I'm glad that men are just embracing the glow up at this point. We're like, yeah, the bitches get to fly out for the BBLs. Why can't we do this?
I think this is a monumental moment in men's self-care, because this is one of the first times where it's widely accepted for men to get actual literal cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Not only you would look at, or people will look at a man as a bitch for like something simple like wearing makeup or something like that to cover their flaws. We're talking cosmetic surgery, which is a level above that, and it's pretty much widely accepted. Mostly because I guess niggas' girlfriends want them to have hair too, so we're like, all right, yeah, good for us. Which is always the way we felt about women. And doing their makeup and getting their tits done and getting the mask shots or whatever the fuck they want to do, get that tummy tuck or whatever. We're starting to actually, get accepted in that area of our lives. And I think we may have to thank the gays for that.
Word. We should always thank the gays.
We should
But this
really,
is
the men should always thank the gays for pushing a lot of things that benefit our whole gender, not just gay people. Because the negative connotation to gay has kind of changed a lot, and all the stuff with considering men caring about how they look and actually going out the way to like fix their flaws or cover up their flaws or whatever the fuck, it was considered gay or feminine or whatever the fuck. And since that connotation changed, just with the acceptance of homosexuality and all that shit, it kind of changed all the shit that we just randomly considered quote unquote gay in the first place, even if it's not really a homosexual, it's just gay as an insult type shit.
I would even especially give credit to the trans group in particular, because the technology just accelerated here in the past decade to the point where I feel like more people became accepting of it because the technology got so much better, where it's like back in the day, if you just because the surgeries and stuff were so bad, you could see a trans person and just be like, okay, I immediately know what the fuck is going on here. This shit is weird. And it's not really, it wasn't necessarily just this person who was trying to make a gender change, but it's the fact that they literally have two fucking inflated balloons just strapped to their chest that make it so fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the surgeries were all botched. It's like they would try to inflate somebody's lips and their lips would look fucking insanely swollen, all this shit. Now it's like when trans people get a surgery, yeah, it's like you gotta take a second and be like, oh wait, what's going on here? You know what I mean? I've seen many men get juked out and be like, oh wow, that's a trans person?
Many men. Oh yeah.
Do you see many men? What happened afterwards?
That's crazy.
No,
But
that's
now
real.
it's like,
That's very real, dog. Are you telling me that transphobia?
Did they take him down?
I want to answer this.
Yeah, I want to hear the answer.
I had to tell them, like, yo, this ain't what you think it is.
It wasn't after moves were made.
No. Because I ain't never gonna put. I think it is a part of consent. Like, to be fair, I don't know if anybody's ever talked about this, but I feel like in society, the right thing to do is, if you were to ever engage with somebody in a sexual manner, like, inform them, like, hey, this is my gender. That's what I think personally. Like, I don't know what the rules are for that stuff, but if I ever see one of my homies get into a situation where they don't know the real gender of who they're getting with, like, and they're not aware, I, as a friend, should probably let them know, but like, and then let them make that decision. Like, that's not really on me to make their decision, but it's up for me to inform them, like, hey, if that person is not necessarily being transparent with you and you haven't pieced the dots on this yet, because there's this fun little romance, the potential things happening, like, I might have to let you know. Like, I'm not trying to, it's not, I feel bad sometimes because it's like, you know, ruin this mystery. It's like, oh, maybe these people would have had a connection, but sometimes you just got to keep it real and be like, hey, man, that's a man. No, wait,
Yeah,
I don't know if that was correct politically, because I mean, she identifies as a woman in that case, but you know what I mean? Like,
identify and logical are two different things. We know what you mean, but fucking I don't.
That was funny.
That's a tricky thing to me. Because for me, I think it depends on where that relationship is going. Like, if it's like if I just meet a girl at the bar and we dance whatever and go back to the crib and then hit or whatever the fuck, and then that's just what it is, like a one night type shit. I don't think she owes me that. But I know a lot of people would feel differently. And I know,
right,
it's a tricky thing for her to go through too, because she doesn't know how the fuck anybody's gonna react to the information, whether they hit or not. Like, she might get jumped or some shit just for telling them that. Like, niggas are crazy. Niggas are out of their minds. So that's something I understand. Like, wanting to keep close to your chest, especially if you want to just feel like a regular human being for like a bit. Because I think at the end of the day, they want to just like feel like a woman, not like a trans woman. You know what I mean? Even though they are a trans woman, but you don't want to feel like you're a other, like you're the only person. Like, you want to feel like a regular ass woman. I don't know, it's tricky. But on the flip side of that, like, if I'm getting serious with you, I gotta know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I say all of that to pretty much say this: if you see how much better the situation has gotten for trans women, it's like, yo, I just saw this dude named Gerald in 2012 chop his dick off, get a phenomenal set of double Ds, a whole new hairline, and a bunch of other features. You know, I think I could get my hairline moved up a solid 2 inches.
Oh yeah. The trickle down effect from trans surgery is benefiting all of us, women too.
Yeah.
And also, you made a great point earlier, Doug. I think, based off what you said before, the transphobia might just stem from bad doctors. Cause like, the more you see like actual like great trans surgery and shit like that, and like, I'm gonna send you. There's somebody from Richmond, a bartender here who I'm kind of cool with, and she's trans. But I would have, even a person, I see her all the time at the same bar. I see her all the time, and I can't wrap my head around how she was ever a man. Because this shit got so fucking good. And everybody see it, it's more like, all right, I mean, I get it. I have zero problem with that.
Doesn't have to do with trans, but when it comes to the surgery and stuff, how you feel about dudes getting abs?
How does that even work?
What's weird.
I don't know, but
the
there's dudes out
this?
here getting. You didn't know this was a thing?
That's crazy. You can get height surgeries now. You can get abs. That's crazy.
There's dudes out here getting tummy tucks.
Oh, there's a lot of people getting tummy tucks. I see that. The thing with the abs is like the same thing with the early trans surgery. It's like it doesn't look like real abs. It looks fucked up. It doesn't move. It doesn't look real. And also, like, it's like you can do that. Well, actually, I won't say that. Abs are genetic for a lot of people, but you can get close to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't respect that stuff.
If you work out, you can get what people want. Cause like, it also, like, having like real like cut up abs, it doesn't like help you like you think it does.
Yeah, it really does not.
Like, you just need to like look fit. You don't need to be cut up. I think the only people really like cut up, or like mostly the gay niggas.
And if you think about it, it's like you really just covering up something that's an underlying problem. So it's like you got the surgery now. Like I'll be telling girls this all the time, especially just, you know, how certain girls just be like, oh, I don't want to work out. Like I'd rather just go get a BBL. And it's like you got to sit and explain to them, like, for the amount of money that you about to spend for something that's going to go away in a couple of years because you're not working out.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, not even that. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow weird because your body
Exactly.
isn't
It's going to get worse, right?
It's gonna grow weird as hell, especially with the abs. Like, what happens when you get ab surgery and then gain 20 pounds of fat? That's gonna look
fact. That's when you start looking like an ant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the BBLs where they start looking like more of ant people. It's like you don't want to go down that path.
Yeah,
like,
you got a goddamn bench on your
think
ass.
about that money that you spending where it's like you could go get a really nice gym membership or a trainer and go get that in like 6 months.
Yeah, and it'll actually fit your body. And your legs will be proportionate.
We in America, though, people are lazy.
Right. And want immediate results.
Yeah.
People
want immediate results.
Wait, what is it? Everybody's on, what's the drug? The diabetes drug?
Ozempic?
Yeah, Ozempic.
Ozempic. I'm waiting to see the side effects of that shit.
Hey, I'm investing in Eli Lilly right now.
No, Eli Lilly stock's been going crazy. This past
it has.
Man, I should have got in.
Hey,
man.
people
There was
are lazy.
tell us.
People are lazy. They're not going to put in the work.
Yeah, you got to give Sterlz his roses.
They're going to keep taking this drug. If it makes me lose weight, and then I'm going to get too conspiratorial. But, you know, when it gets into
I'll follow you.
The insurance companies, they'll be happy. I mean, if it saves them costs, they'll push it too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't gotta pay for people being obese and stuff. So this saves them money that way. If they just gotta take this drug, all right, push it on these people.
Meanwhile, your heart still doesn't work.
Y'all get all boosted up.
Oh, I never got boosted.
Yeah, I got boosted. Yeah, I got one booster. But am I gonna get another booster if they say like, oh, we got a new strain of COVID, like everybody got to take the shot again? I think I'm good because I'm like, bro, I already got boosted. Like at some point of time, I'm young enough where I'd rather just let my antibodies figure this shit out on its own. Like I'm not risking these side effects.
Kind of always been the best option. They are milking you. They are milking people. It's been a pattern with all this shit. Like it's been a clear pattern every time they come with like a new booster and shit like that. The virus just mutates, which is what viruses do. Like they understand that. They just mutate to be more resistant towards it, and then they can build or release a new booster. That's just a new flow of money for Pfizer or Moderna or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, this vaccine is not like an immunizing shot. It's just something that is going to allow you to train your body to create the antibodies necessary to fight the next possible strain. But also, just given how our immune system works, you could totally do that on your fucking own. Like what happens
with
is
exposure.
On the off chance, if you get exposed, then over time your body will learn how to fight it.
They already said that they really found no difference between people who had just gotten it and people who had the vaccine.
It's also mutated so much that like the severity of the virus itself, for me specifically, I don't feel like I need to go that far on my way. That is fucking it's crazy that there's virus out there that can make your body glitch like that. It just gets in you and the match shit just stops working right.
Yeah, and it was like everybody was having a bunch of really fucking weird symptoms. It's like, I don't know. It was, that was weird. I definitely do feel like between that and some other just really weird things that have happened in life, there's no doubt that we're living in some form of like an alternate like reality or dimension. I'm pretty convinced of it. There's way too many of these random weird things where it's like, okay, clearly somebody made one decision that put us off into a weirder, much weirder than it needed to be parallel universe.
A lot of shit. Fucking the government keeps begging us to care that there's aliens here. Which is weird
like
for a few different reasons.
Why are they trying to make us care about aliens now? That's a great
Please, they're here. I'm an alien. Look at me.
We released all this info. Come on. Like, bro, actually, no. Never mind.
If you would have told us in like 2009 that at some point the government is going to tell all of America that aliens are here and we're not going to give a fuck, people are like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. That would be the biggest news of like the millennium of humanity. But we don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
not at all. It's not even news anymore, which is so crazy. We would have thought it would be the only thing anybody would ever be talking about.
Don't they say movies are just like a reflection of like what's to come in the future? Basically?
Ooh, do you think that because since the idea of aliens were out there, there's been alien content that people have been taking in for like so long. Do you think like alien movies might just desensitize us to it?
That's what I was basically getting at. I think like we've seen so many movies and stuff. Like now that like people they saying it's real, we just like all right.
We're probably disappointed because it doesn't look like fucking Independence Day or whatever. Or Alien.
Exactly. It's like we watch so many movies about aliens. It's like, oh wait, they're not trying to take over or something. Like they just here. Like it's like, all right, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no bullshit. That's so crazy. Humans are crazy.
If that's the case, it was really effective. Because like from what I've heard about the stuff they've released, it's like the technology that these fucking aliens are sitting on, allegedly, like from the stuff that has been allegedly talked about, they're like way ahead of us. Like they have something that can stand and float in the air immediately and then go Mach 4 within like less than a second.
Yeah, that's the biggest part to me, is the technology that it might bring to us.
I think that's why the government desensitized us, because if us as a people realized that we were the inferior species, or that like, especially in America where we always pride ourselves, we're number one, we dominate on everything. Like if you actually have to come to terms with the idea that there might be something out there that we can't beat, that we're so insignificant in comparison to, like society could collapse.
I like how you bring up this point though, because there's also another theory that it's not actually aliens, it's China, and they just got technology that we don't got.
Ooh, yeah.
But in order not to scare us, they say that it's aliens.
They're selling it as aliens.
How crazy is it that the option to not scare us is saying that it's aliens from another planet? We're like, our whole fucking since the 50s or the fuck, our thought was like, if aliens come, Earth is done. But we're like, no, we're more scared of China than Mars.
The changing of the guard is in process. It's just gonna take years for it to actually happen. Well, I mean, when you basically are the bully of the world for this long, people gonna get fed up at some point.
Countries happen.
We can't just think we gonna just bully people forever. China basically just did to us what we did to them. Well, that's what they did in Africa. That's what they're doing with Africa right now. Like go over there and like create all this infrastructure and stuff for them. So they basically own all this stuff.
Did you see the stat on how much real estate in America is owned by like the same company in China?
Oh no, I haven't heard about this. I know it's about to be a lot.
I've not, but I know they own a
crazy.
lot.
I know it's supposed to be more than we're comfortable with.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
You know who the number one real estate owner in the world is?
Real estate owner? I mean, probably a prince that owns his own country.
You guys know, you got, if you think hard, you could probably get it. Like, just think about people that like dominated the world, like most recently, like even though it's still thousands of years ago. The Catholic Church.
Oh yeah, I knew that. That's true. But I need someone to make a full breakdown on exactly like the full story of the Catholic Church and how they got the tremendous amount of influence they have over the entire world. Right? They have more influence than pretty much every country.
Anywhere there's a Vatican or whatever, they technically own that. Like that's not part of the country. That's like that area.
It's owned.
Yes, like, it's there.
I didn't even think about that.
I wonder how long that's going to last. Because the rate at which religion is going, I feel like people are becoming less religious over time. Do you think like it's definitely not going to happen in our lifetime, but like maybe like several hundred years from now, do you think the Catholic Church is still going to have the same amount of real estate?
I think the interesting with the Catholic Church is it's at a point now where its influence isn't as much in how the people believe it in, because now like they literally own all this shit.
Yeah.
And like they still like run countries and shit like that.
So they don't even need the religion.
They don't even need the followers anymore. Like it's by far the most successful cult in history.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's still a bunch of third world countries
with a lot of land.
As long as that's still around, there's still going to be a lot of religion. Because I mean, at the end of the day, when people are going through certain struggles, they need something.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and they're going there.
That's the thing. I think it was made off of good intentions back in the day. I mean, people were kind of savages and stuff. I feel like it was a good way of like bringing all these certain morals and stuff. Like, especially placing them behind certain people, like figures and stuff. Like you can see, if you can see that religious figure just being a person, it's like, oh, if he can act like this and do all these nice things for people, then I can do it too. And that was just a good way of bringing everybody, just basically creating a better society instead of everybody just being out savages and just stealing and robbing and shit like out here. So I think that was like good back in the day, but like now I see when people get power, they abuse that power, and now it's kind of gets to the point where people take advantage of that stuff. I mean, when we got pastors out here with private jets and stuff, it's like you really take advantage of the situation.
But the system they're in is taking advantage of the situation because like they have like set up that like they have their whole big ass system going on, and none of it is taxed even a little bit, and they get 10% of every single follower's paycheck. Every single 10% is a lot. When you control someone's, I don't know, it's not fully controlling someone's mind, but you're the person or the system that's telling them what their morals are, telling them what's right and wrong. It's super easy to slip in whatever the fuck you want to take advantage of them. Like, God told you to give me 10% of every check you get, and God told your country not to tax me.
Technically, the church is supposed to help people, so it's technically supposed to be a charity. I mean, some are, some aren't. Yeah.
And actual charities still get taxed.
I would technically want to give my money to a church over the government.
It's tomato for me.
It always depends on the church and the government.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Donating to a church is just as valid as paying taxes if you think about it. If the church is supposed to do what the church says it's supposed to do, in the same way we believe the government is supposed to provide services in the way that we expect them to provide services, right? Like we expect the church to do something meaningful for the community outside of just paying for what they're supposed to because of God. The reason might be different, but
because of God, yeah.
We have the same expectation of government that I guess we should of church. And so
interesting.
I think it can be okay, but then we also need to hold both of these entities to really high fucking standards. And I don't think anybody does that at all. Maybe it's because we as people are not empowered to, but I think that's where we see the biggest amount of waste in productivity. I think like humanity's biggest issue or barricades to maximizing their productivity is just excess waste that comes from bad government, bad churches, I guess bad religion. If you think about it, I think that's like our biggest inefficiency.
From people taking advantage of the power they have. Because the tax shit is so crazy. And that's an interesting point you made about like our expectations of both church and the government, especially local governments, kind of going hand in hand. And the church side of that comes from a feeling of having shared morals, because the church and the followers are all supposed to be following the same thing, which is like the Bible or God or whatever, the Quran or Torah, whatever the fuck you follow. It's more moral based, but the government side of things, for a lot of people, I feel like it's more like our expectations of what they do with our money is more kind of built off of resentment, because they tax fucking everything 8 times. It's not like we don't have shared morals with the government. We have agreed laws, and we have our own idea of what would better the community and shit like that. But that also varies person to person. There's no like unified idea of what's best for each country or county or anything like that. But like we want something that we actually can see and benefit from, because we pay so much fucking in taxes. And it's kind of it's insulting that they tax the money that we get from our job, and then tax us again when we spend it, and then tax the property that we already fucking paid off and shit like that. Like, it's a lot.
But I didn't know that was a thing in I guess London. They don't pay like sales tax when they buy things.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Switching gears, we had a mini discussion pre-pod about soccer as and how slept on it is.
Yes.
And how the nature of the sport builds women's legs to be built in such a way that makes people hard.
Yes.
And that got me thinking, or us thinking, we have to rank right now all of the different sport bodies in female sports, because that's a common thing.
In terms of female athletes, I don't know how the women judge the men. I don't know how the women.
I don't know how to judge men attractiveness wise, but I do see how different sports build men also to be built different ways. For example, swimmers usually have longer limbs. Basketball players usually tend to be taller with skinnier legs. Rugby players tend to have big ass fucking legs. But on the women's side of things, the nature of the sport, there tends to be a direct correlation between that and how their bodies just turn out to be built. So we should probably start. Yeah. Let's make a list of sports, and then we can rank them.
Yeah, let's just get into our like women body sport rankings, pretty much. Which sport produces the finest women?
I mean, track gotta be.
It's
track.
Oh my! Yeah. Thank you, Sterlz.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, when it comes to the sprinters,
specifically. This sprinters.
Yeah, specifically sprinters.
I don't know what it is about sprinters.
Even some of the jumping events, I ain't even going front.
Jumping too. You're right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, because I noticed through like running a track and shit, like even my body gets more like muscular when I'm sprinting often. But like what it does to women is ridiculous.
Yes.
We got track. We have soccer.
Yeah, have to. Gotta have that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, volleyball.
Volleyball.
That's where I was going.
I mean, they kind of force it with what they wear.
I feel like that's the top 3 right there. The ones we just listed. Just like soccer, volleyball, track.
I'm a little biased. I'll be putting basketball, but that's because when the top tier
That's true. The top tier, yeah. It's like rare, but the top tier in basketball definitely got a lot of talent there.
Well, actually, I'm gonna dig into basketball after we get all sports done. I'm gonna put in softball for the sake of debate.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's always it's either
or
very
refrigerator
great
lesbians.
Oh, let me ask y'all this. I got one for y'all. Is cheerleading a sport?
Okay. Cheerleaders do have a specific body type.
Yeah,
Right?
I'd have to put it in there. Especially competitive cheerleading.
Yeah,
They be doing a lot of stuff.
Do you want to slash cheerleaders with gymnastics?
Nah, I'd separate them.
Or do we want to separate them?
Oh,
Okay,
gymnastics.
Yeah, because gymnastics is like, I feel like it's different because gymnastics is like they're amazing. They got the flexibility. They got
Oh, that's true.
the right proportions. You know what I mean? Because they have to do a lot of body weight stuff. So they got to, if you really into just
that is true.
shape.
I do feel like
But they are
gymnasts people
short,
build more.
The gymnasts are short.
Are short as fuck.
Yeah, it's short and they
So
look
do
young
cheerleaders.
as hell, bro. They be looking young.
So do cheerleaders. I think
ooh,
they share
I can't
that,
do
but I think the difference in them is the gymnastics people, they tend to have more meat on their bones than cheerleaders. Like they have more muscle on them, and they tend to at least have more ass.
It is more muscle. It does come with more ass.
Yeah.
And where any sport you have to be explosive for, I feel like it builds ass. So right now we have track, soccer, volleyball, basketball, softball, cheerleading, and gymnastics. What are we missing?
Oh, we just missed. Yeah, we got to get tennis in there. Tennis is
Tennis be decent. I mean, when we, especially when you got Serena, though.
She's a different animal.
Even like Sloane Stevens. I don't know if y'all seen her.
She's different.
There's some
she's
sleepers
different.
in tennis. I don't know. We could get in our bag. Shout out to Emma Raducanu. She's nice.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Ooh, you put a name out there.
Yeah.
Hold up, say that name again.
Shout out Emma
We had a
Raducanu.
few at my high school.
If she ever listens to this podcast, you know how to get at me. My name is my name. JONYKURIAN on the social medias. Please. I would love that number.
Oh shit. You'd also love that ass.
He's not wrong.
I feel like lacrosse.
Oh, he said lacrosse?
Lacrosse girls be having a little something on them.
Okay, there we go. That's an underrated one
Lacrosse
as well.
is. Do you feel like lacrosse bodies have any similarities to soccer bodies?
I would say so. It's about the same amount of running. I say, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other sport, but I'd just be reaching at that point. 'Cause, I mean, you could say golf, but like the skirt be hiding it.
That's true.
You don't really know.
Yeah, I think we got all the main
I still
ones.
don't know.
Now it's time to rank them though. That's
Track, soccer, volleyball, Oh, let me share my screen actually. I'll make it easier.
yeah. That's a good idea.
Track bodies. What do you think of specifically sprinter bodies? What are the common denominators?
The common denominators, amazing thighs. I would probably say
Amazing thighs.
between them and soccer, they might have the best thighs. Like just thigh ass combo.
I agree with that. I agree with
That's
that.
That is
The legs
kind of
are.
my main priority.
No.
Soccer and track have top tier legs.
I mean, we got to break it down by like kind of like features and then what you're into, because that's more of a subjective thing. Because like what I'm into is not necessarily what y'all might be into, or vice versa.
This list is like damn near already.
This is already in order for you.
I might do volleyball up. Maybe one, to be honest.
Volleyball's up there.
I can see that. See, we got to give volleyball praise because they got.
I mean, I'm a little biased. Back in high school, there was this chick that it was just he had a dumb
Oh
truck.
my god.
I'm talking about literally. We was some wild ass high schoolers. Every time she come in again, we start clapping like that. She got a dumb clap. We'd do that clap every time.
You don't forget to ask like that.
Man. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Like it was like something that like nobody could miss.
Oh my god. Volleyball
yeah.
used to be the same season as football, like at our school. So like after practice, they would have their games shit like that, and the entire football team would go and fill up the fucking volleyball court and not give a fuck about we don't even know how the game is played. We don't know who's winning, anything like that. We all just screamed at whoever's ass was the fattest. We were animals.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how it be. That's why I was at the game too after football.
Volleyball is a beautiful sport.
That's a beautiful sport. So for the list, let's start here with your priority list, individual priority list on I don't want to break it down like it's a fucking piece of meat, but on body parts and what you prioritize. Because I feel like your ranking for these sports all has to do with what you prioritize and what your type is. For me specifically, I'm going to prioritize the sports that build ass.
Yeah, for me, it's more about like the thigh-ass combo. I'm really into the ratios and the proportions and the shapes of it. So I always like to lump them together because you can have, like, let's take the BBL aesthetic, like we was talking about this from earlier. Like, that is something that doesn't mean as much to me as a really, really fit, in shape soccer booty. You know what I mean? Or a track booty. Or even the volleyball booty.
I feel that.
But these are three completely different types of asses. You know what I mean? The soccer ass actually is different than the volleyball ass, even though both of them are nice asses. You know what I mean? Because the volleyball ass is like, she's like tall with a dump truck. As Sterlz
more
said.
power.
Right.
It's like it's made for more power. They gotta jump up and down over and over. But that soccer ass.
But it's not as densely packed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little. I feel like it's a little bit bigger, you know, to contain all that power and stuff. It's like a little bit more. It gets a little bit more rounder and stuff. You feel me?
Right. I do.
See, when it comes to power ass, I feel like I might notice that a little more.
I would say track is probably number one for power ass.
Well, I agree with that.
I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be number one.
I feel like softball booty slept on.
I've seen too many pear shapes.
That's
So,
what
Yeah, it can't go either way.
That's what it comes with.
That's why. But you do be seeing those like
Look good.
those photos every now and then of like the Oregon softball team or something. You be like, God damn. Like it'd be like a row. You be like, holy shit. Like everybody got one on them. I mean, I think I'll be going for more of the outfielders, second base, shortstop type. But I mean, those are all the positions I played too. So
I can see Sterlz with a shortstop,
I'm
bitch. That makes sense for you.
See, I didn't like shortstop. I only played it when I had to. I prefer outfielder and second base. The second base, that's just the second base is easier. Shortstop, you be getting hit too many ropes.
Shortstop
like,
is stressful,
I just be like, shit, I'm trying not to fuck up.
Right. Because not only do you got to handle that fucking rope, you got to be able to sling that bitch immediately.
Exactly. No mistakes, really.
None. And that's why you fuck with a solid ass shortstop, because that's the I feel like shortstop girls are more like, it's a mentality thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she can hold you down.
Exactly.
A shortstop bitch is a hunter. Like, she gets what she wants.
We gotta rank it. How slept
Yeah,
on are
I
they?
agree. I mean, for me personally, I already know they're gonna be in the middle somewhere.
Should we go in like an order, like our rankings, or are we gonna do one collective ranking? That's the real question.
Okay, yeah, let's go in order. Let's go in order. Johnny, what are you thinking?
All right, I'm gonna just be a straight shooter. I'm gonna try to go down the line and see if I can get them all ranked.
Go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna go track number 1. It's already getting tough. I was gonna be a straight shooter. I don't know. It's definitely track number 1, but is it volleyball or soccer number 2? I know it's gonna be track, volleyball, soccer for my 3, but what's the order for 2 and 3? That's my thing. Should we go with the tall girls with the dump trucker, the thigh ass combo?
It's hard.
I'm gonna go with soccer number 2. That was not an easy decision, but I don't get paid to make easy choices.
We're in a cutthroat business.
Volleyball is number 3, you already know. And then now this is where it gets interesting. I think this is where, cheerleading is very interesting because you got really 2 different types of positions. It's like the base cheerleaders for like the pyramid, and then like the girls who get set up top. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go cheerleading. Then I'm gonna go tennis.
Oh, Johnny likes pretty girls.
Then I'm gonna go, yeah, absolutely. And then I'm gonna go lacrosse.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm gonna go lacrosse.
That's legs.
Then I'm gonna go gymnastics. Actually, no, I'm gonna go basketball. Then I'm gonna go gymnastics, and then I'll probably go softball last. But that does not mean I just want to take this moment to say, if you are a woman who happens to play softball, I still would appreciate you.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate how good y'all are at softball, and we appreciate how y'all can make my balls soft.
So Jony has track, soccer, volleyball, cheerleading, tennis, lacrosse, basketball, gymnastics, and then softball. Sterlz, what you think?
I think I'm gonna have to go track number 1 as well.
Oh yeah, track is great. What a tremendous
I'm
sport.
gonna go volleyball number 2.
Also a tremendous sport. One thing with
Number
both of these
3.
sports, track and volleyball, is they get a big lift from the uniforms also.
That's true.
Yeah. That is very true.
It's good. It's nice.
Number 3, I'm actually switching this out. I'm going basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the top
So
tier.
it's,
See, I was thinking about that when I was making my list too low. I like this. I like where you're going with this.
And then I'm gonna go soccer for number 4.
Yeah.
I say they slept on. I don't be having them like the best of the best be up with the best of the other sports. But overall, it's just the quality. I think it's all pretty nice.
I agree with that. They have a better overall spread. There's more consistency in soccer.
The average.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're getting consistent look in soccer.
5 I'm gonna go tennis. And
You still have cheerleading, lacrosse, gymnastics, and softball.
6 I'll go gymnastics. Dang, I was trying not to do this to him again too, but
Yeah, it always gets dicey at the bottom.
I'm gonna go cheerleading, softball, lacrosse.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I would actually say softball. Softball got better ones. It's just the overall numbers. Like I would say softball actually has better ones, cheerleading and gymnastics, and even tennis. Like as far as the top of the top, but
Yeah, but the spread is too.
the quantity is just low.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm seeing how much it varies from Jony's. So Sterlz has track, volleyball, basketball, soccer, tennis, gymnastics, cheerleading, softball, and lacrosse. So to start this off, I'm just gonna say that there's a clear winner for the number 1 spot in the hearts of the Stay Tuned podcast, because my number 1 is also track.
That's beautiful.
Track is phenomenal.
Yes.
Especially specifically sprinters. It's because something we mentioned before. It's explosiveness builds women's legs and their ass so fucking nice, and it's so great. Track is great. I love it.
We need to build more tracks in the United States. I'm glad that we're on this podcast because I'd be thinking about this all the time, and I'm so glad I could say this on record. I do think that we should make more tracks around the United States. I think they're really useful. I think it'd be a good public service.
Yeah,
I think it would allow people to go outside.
I agree.
I always wish that I could have a track and field around me. Like, that's the biggest thing I miss from college, because the way that everybody can come together and exercise is a beautiful thing, and you all get hotter together. Your legs get more explosive. It's one thing to just lift weights for your legs, but if you lift and go running after, the way your body just transforms is something else.
Your body is built to respond well to what it was literally built to do.
Fact.
Like at the end of the day, we weren't built to bench. We weren't built to squat weight like that. Even though it does help our body, but like we are built to sprint and do shit. It's like sprinting is the most natural thing ever. Is running, walking. But going off of what you were saying about we need more tracks, we also need to make it more normal for people to go out and sprint rather than doing long jogging. Like I feel like the default cardio for the vast majority of America is like jogging and going around, which is cool, but like I don't think y'all realize the benefits of sprinting. Sprinting will build your body
The right way.
So jogging will build like your passive cardio and shit like that, but you're gonna be built like a 2x4. You don't get toned from it.
See,
You're
that's
just
a
skinny
great
fat.
point, Nate.
Yeah.
That's the biggest misconception
Yeah.
that I feel like women always have about lifting weights and sprinting. It's like, oh, it's going to get
Yes.
me this bulky, manly body type that I'm not going to want. It's like, no. It's going to give you
It
everything
will
you're
not.
looking for. Like, it's really going to give you, it's going to allocate the excess fat that you don't want to have into either muscle, or it will just get rid of it. And it will leave
Yes.
the fat that's going to make you look sexy, like on your ass and your thighs.
Your body knows what to do. Trust your body, man. It knows what to do. Just give it what it needs. It will build how you were supposed to be built. You just think of it as this: you're making the best case scenario. You're not gonna be coming out built like Sylvester Stallone or some shit. But yeah, track ass is phenomenal, and they're always in shape.
Always.
They got the motherfucking gear on too. All right, this is already getting hard for me. We're on number 2. Number 1, track, solidified as number 1 of all time. Okay, what do we have? Soccer, volleyball, basketball. Fuck, this is hard. I think I might agree with Jony and go soccer for number 2. For the same reason said before about the consistency, but the consistency is always there, and the legs are fucking tremendous. I love track legs, I love sprinter legs, but I think I might put soccer legs above sprinter legs.
Yeah,
I definitely wouldn't be mad.
Jumper legs and tracker are great too. 3. Oh fuck, this is harder than I expected it to be. You know, I had this whole time to think about this. I think for 3, I'm going to go off script with both of y'all's. And for 3, I might go softball. I love ass.
I'm respecting the fuck out of that.
The thing I like with softball, which is the opposite of soccer, is instead of consistency, there's variety. You know, I look at softball as the fucking Jellybelly jelly beans. Like, there's a lot of different shit in there, but there's also definitely those black and brown ones that taste like shit for some reason. They keep putting them in there. And that's like a softball catcher, even though, like, there's no hate softball catchers, it's just not for me. But there is something in that motherfucking bag of jelly beans that's the most delicious shit my mouth ever tasted, and that's the first baseman and the third baseman and that fucking shortstop mentality. I think track and soccer builds the more toned asses, but softball builds the more plump asses.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
I can see that.
I think you see the most plump asses in softball, and maybe also gymnastics.
If they rocking it with them pants, they look really nice.
Yeah. Ooh,
They do.
yeah.
They can't be presented well. That's a good point, Sterlz.
Oh, speaking of presented well, I'm sorry, I left one out of the plump ass debate. I mean, without a doubt, volleyball also builds plump asses, and that's why volleyball is my number motherfucking 4. Numero 5. I think I'm going to go basketball. Basketball players, especially the top of the tier, tend to be the prettiest ones all. I don't know what it is. It might be like they draw a certain crowd to the sport or something like that, but like the top tier basketball bitches be fine, specifically in the face.
Yeah, true.
Like there are some stunning women in basketball, and it's mostly face.
Absolutely.
Like I don't know if they build necessarily a body that does like anything for me one way or the other, but the faces in basketball are unmatched. If you don't look like Lil Wayne,
There's no in between.
Man, there'd be some of them guards. They be
oh my god, man.
be having dunkers on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true too. You see a lot of good faces in basketball, and I love a pretty face.
Any particular women we want to shout out here?
Mm-hmm.
Just to give the people some names.
Charlie,
fuck.
man.
I see. This is why I need my boy Jalen Brinson. Shout out to him, Lin J, because he's the sickest Negro ever. He has a fucking list, and he floods our group chat with the prettiest basketball bitches ever. And a lot of them I see are like college basketball players and shit like that. If you turn like a random ass game, like that's one of my favorite parts of March Madness is turn on a random ass game, and you can see some like random ass pretty bitches running the 2. They're like, it's just
them twins.
crazy. Yeah.
Them twins kinda
Yes.
bad.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree.
Y'all know who Cameron Brink is?
I will in a second when I Google. Oh, she's fine as hell. Oh, I know her. My boy KJ knows her. Like, fuck. She's from North Carolina. I know exactly who this is. Yeah, she's pretty as hell.
I can just look that up. They do be. I mean, I even think Angel.
There's a few jumps on the LSU team. They're pretty.
See, this makes an argument that like basketball could be top tier.
I think basketball has top tier face. I think body. I don't think it competes with track and volleyball and top tier softball body. But face. I think it's easy. Okay, yeah. After basketball, I'm going to go lacrosse. Because lacrosse, I feel like after soccer, it's legs.
Respect, yeah.
I like a good leg. I do like a good leg.
Out of all of these sports, lacrosse definitely has the best keglers. Like in terms of women who kegel, like if they all kegled,
Oh shit.
they got the best coochie type.
I haven't experienced. I got. There's a whole new world up there I didn't know about.
I thought I didn't experience it, then I realized. So
Sterlz had a
I
flashback.
wonder if Jony is. This is what Johnny's reference to.
Oh wait, hold up. Do I know who y'all talking about?
I didn't think about it until I really thought about it. Like, oh shit.
Like I said,
You're right.
I stand behind my previous statement. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
You're right. Yep. Oh man.
Right?
I was about to say I never experienced it. Then I realized I did experience lacrosse. I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of fine.
Yeah.
We think about the same person.
They got good coochie control.
I believe you probably are.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, no, we're on the same page, and we're the only people who need to be on the same page. Damn, what is it about lacrosse that makes that motherfucking shit tight.
Really, if you look at the lacrosse leg, it's a strong leg. It's like they know
It
they
is.
got great inner thigh strength. That's the only way you look at the inner thighs of any lacrosse woman player. It's like, wow, that shit is on lock, which probably really helps with the controlling of the cooch.
Oh yeah, inner thigh. I assume it's all that. The muscles are probably specifically connected. The inner thigh bone is connected to the pussy bone. But the lacrosse legs might be the reason why I'm here. Because my parents tell me all the fucking time about like how they met. They both went to the University of Maryland, and my dad played lacrosse there. And like my dad had the same like work study as my mom or some shit, and they were working together. And she was asking about like what he does, and he was telling me that like he's a lacrosse player, he's the captain of the lacrosse team and shit. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck that sport is. She thought he was like catching butterflies with a net or some shit. So she came to a game and she saw him in shorts and she saw them legs and was like, nah, I'm having a baby with this man. And next thing you know,
That's what's up.
I'm here. So shout out to number 6,
Yeah,
lacrosse.
Lacrosse
That's
leg.
beautiful.
This lacrosse legs are the reason why I am here speaking to you. So that's left. Cheerleading, gymnastics, and okay. Number 7 is my second sport, which I think is second on the list for the prettiest faces, and that's tennis.
Yeah.
I think tennis, same as basketball, doesn't necessarily breed a specific body type,
Yeah.
but it attracts just the prettiest women, specifically pretty. Tennis players are pretty, and they come from fucking all over.
Yeah, they all look like athletic Disney princesses.
They really do. And speaking Disney princesses, what I was saying, they come from fucking all over. Like you'll find a fine tennis woman from Australia, or you find a fine tennis woman from Spain, or from Europe,
Right.
or from motherfucking Japan, or fucking anywhere. Like it's really like Disney princess shit.
Oh, yeah.
To your faces in tennis.
There's be some bad ones.
Just beautiful international talent.
Corday knew what he was doing.
But he what did Corday did? Corday needs fucking credit for finally being the person who expanded the types of women that rappers can date. Because goddamn, you niggas been dating the same 7 women.
Yeah.
And all 7 women are the exact same type of women too.
That is so true.
A lot of dating same people, they're all the same. They all look exactly. They're all copies of each other. They're all copies of him. If you really want to get down to it.
Yeah.
But fucking
Yeah.
Corday, shout out to you for even if you don't stay together, just for fucking breaking that glass ceiling. Corday is the Susan B. Anthony of rappers.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure, aren't they having a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, they already had it.
Damn, that baby gonna be racially confused. Options. Speaking of options, my bottom 2, which again, we love all the sports listed. My bottom 2 are at the bottom for the same reason, and that's because I personally am not into short girls or small girls in general. That's not nothing against you. You're great. I know there's a lot of men who love you. It's not my forte. Out of that, one thing I do prioritize that is a difference maker between gymnastics and cheerleading is motherfucking body, man. And one thing gymnastics does is it does build shape. So I'm going gymnastics number 8. You're gonna see the fucking fattest ass on a fucking 4'5" girl you ever see in gymnastics. But she will be 4'5". And numero 9, come up the rear. I got cheerleading. I don't know why. I feel like I've always had something against cheerleaders in my life. It's something about the whole fake smile shit and the overly makeup shit. It doesn't come off real to me, and I feel like when I see cheerleaders, it makes me. Well, I feel like when I see that a girl's a cheerleader, it kind of makes me less attracted to them, and I don't know if I can fully explain that.
You're like, what comes with the cheerleading? Like
I understand.
the personality and like the makeup and the need to.
Yeah.
It's not really necessarily about the sport as much as it is for like glamorizing yourself, which is really the antithesis of sport if you think about it. But they be producing some great bodies. I ain't gonna lie. They be doing flipping and
It depends on how you go about it. They do.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
I feel like I feel the same negativity if I saw a girl I liked and she was a cheerleader as I would if I saw a girl I liked and she was in like beauty pageants. Like it's something about like
I get that.
the something about like the forced smiling and like the looks being like an actual like effort in the actual sport. Like I know like I mean I'm fully aware that girls play basketball wearing makeup and shit like that and look good, but like it's not, they're not making it like the focus, and it comes off still authentic because they just want to look the best way that they look. They want to look like they're the best of them. And I feel like I feel like cheerleading, there's a specific look that everybody's going for. It's not an attractive one. It's not an authentic one to me. I still respect y'all though. I respect your cheerleading. I respect your sport. It's just, I mean, I'm probably not gonna fuck you. I'm sorry.
I had to go to a lot of cheerleading competitions as a kid. I mean, I was just surrounded by young ladies when I was 13, 12, 14, all them years.
That explains a lot about how you turned out. That explains a lot about the person you are now. I feel like that has a lot to do with why you're comfortable around women as you are now. Like especially like around Rose, where like so many people like, I don't know, either try hard or just straight up just don't know how to act around women because they're not used to being around them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not something I ever saw you struggle with, even a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I be forgetting about that stuff.
You know what? Now that I think about it, that does make a lot of sense because I always notice something with you, even like freshman year, is women get comfortable with you very, very quick, like very quick, and knowing how to, like, I don't know, bounce off that feminine energy off from like an early age and being surrounded by women type shit. Like I found like even the situations where like you didn't even have to like say much to women, like you could say nothing at all to a girl and she'll still like want to like spend a lot of time with you because she just feels comfortable with you.
I'd say my mom forced me being a good listener.
Yes,
I didn't want to
huge.
back in the day when I was in high school. I was forced.
Sometimes you gotta be.
Yeah, I mean that's all these women need sometimes. They just want to be listened to.
Yeah, I think a lot of them just want to feel comfortable. I feel like they can be themselves.
Yeah.
I can't wait to teach my son all like the actual like bullshit and what to actually listen to when it comes to like dating and dealing with women. Because there's a lot of, especially when you're young, there's so much bullshit out there that's the exact opposite of the right shit to do.
Yeah, learning how to pay attention in a conversation without having to pay attention. Like usually women be saying, this is going to sound crazy, but y'all know I'm right. Women sometimes be taking tens of minutes to be saying some shit that would have taken like 30 seconds to say, but they gotta really like talk about their emotions.
Oh yeah.
Like and how they felt through that process. And you gotta learn how to tune out the solid 9 minutes and 30 seconds of that conversation. Because if you actually do try to pay attention the whole time, you're gonna be taking on this emotional roller coaster that really don't amount to fucking nothing.
Yeah. Also don't like when you listen to women, don't look at it logically and don't look for like you don't have to look for a way to like fix whatever situation around like that. Just look for a way to understand how they feel the way they feel, and that is it. You don't have to have like a good response to it. You don't really have to respond really.
I be feeling that same way as far as like teaching my son or whatever in the future. But then what if your son just don't give a fuck? He's like he's just like, what's this old man talking about? Like, what if you got one of them sons who just don't care?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not listening to this man.
I mean, that could be good too. Like, the main thing I want to get across is authenticity. Is to be you. Don't try to be what you think they want because they low-key hate that shit. It repulses them.
Yeah.
But they don't know what they want.
I mean, nobody knows what they want, but until they see it and they feel it. And they feel it when they see someone actually being authentic and someone who's not scared to be themselves and someone who doesn't change up to you. Because also, especially if they're a pretty woman, dog, everybody's calling her beautiful. And everybody's acting different around her. And she notices that you're acting different. She knows that people are being authentic. Be that one authentic nigga.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And going off of that, Nate, like I think a big piece of advice that I'd give like my son is that early on when you dating women, they don't fucking know. What you need to pay attention to is what they're reacting to. See, what you need to get from a woman is a meaningful romantic reaction. Something where you can see that there is a switch being turned on for attraction. Like you can see, because you can tell, like it's immediate.
Yes, 100%. Watch, don't listen.
If a woman is attracted to you, they will react in a certain way where you're like, okay, I know what's happening here. I know this is working. She might not even know what's going on right now, but she's responding to this, and I can build something off of that.
You can't understand these women.
That's so true.
Stop trying to.
Yeah, stop trying.
They're on a different wavelength than us.
Yeah, you guys.
Stop trying to. Stop trying to understand. Try to feel. You're working on a logical point, but they're working on a feeling point. I'm not saying that as like a misogynist thing or anything like that. It's not a bad. Actually, I think it's a better thing for women because they're on like a whole different wavelength. Find a way to tap into that wavelength. Like they want to feel something in their chest.
Also, back to Nate's point, like the eyes be telling you a lot. Like some of these women, what they be doing, like just to look at it, you can tell. Like you go, oh man,
you can tell.
That girl's a freak.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
She's a freak.
Oh yeah.
She's looking at me.
Because y'all thinking too much. Y'all thinking too much. We need to be feeling. Stop thinking with women.
Yes.
Feel with them.
Right. And it's really important in life because that's a whole level of thinking. Like feeling is a type of thinking. It's just something that we as men can't explain logically, but is something that is equally as valid.
Yeah, so we dismiss it.
We gonna act like men.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they be the wild.
Men are out of their mind.
Those are the hoes. They be the biggest hoes.
Yeah, that is like how we're biologically wired. We are wired to fuck. And I really don't think we were wired for monogamy. I mean, if you look at most of society, men never just fucked one partner. Like, yeah, you still had your wife, but like brothels had been around for a very long time. Like usually back in the day of regular wars and stuff where like war was an everyday thing. The biggest part of the incentive for war and winning the war was that you got to fucking take everything and you pretty much just collect all the hot people that you want and be like, hey, now that your shit's completely burnt down, do you just want to live with me and also potentially fuck?
I mean, you put that the nice way.
Yeah, I was trying to do it a little easy. Raping and pillaging. Let's just call it for what it was.
They gibbered into whatever language they spoke, and then yeah, turn around. Yeah, no, no bullshit.
We just gave you the Disney version.
Yeah.
It's just like white people saying, we just asked the black people to come work for us, and they were like, oh yeah, sure, we're bored.
That is the ugly truth, man. We are wired for that.
I think the monogamy thing got crossed up with something we actually are wired for. Like, I think we are wired for sharing parental responsibilities and sharing raising a kid, like gender, like actual gender roles and raising a kid form. Like, I think we are wired the same way like fucking lions are and shit like that. And that got twisted into making ourselves stay with the same person for life, because I think that made our wiring for parenthood more convenient.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Marriage is a tricky subject, because marriage is kind of surrounded on doing like deals and shit like that, but it's also surrounded by making the raising of children more convenient and the actual like stable household and shit like that. But yeah, to agree, I don't think we're wired for fucking the same person for our whole life.
Yeah, also we weren't meant to live this long too. So like back in the days when people were doing that, you were dead by motherfucking 39, my guy. Of course you could say you only got to have one wife and raise a kid. Like, kid turns 15, you're dead. You know what I mean? That's how it used to be back in the day. Now we live into points and our bodies are getting to just weird shapes and proportions. Like, people weren't meant to live to fucking 90. Now all of a sudden you 90, you gotta fuck Gertrude like it was 1918. It ain't the same.
It's not at all.
It's just not the same. That's why I think going back to tie this back to another previous podcast we recorded and didn't put out, that's why I personally, over these past couple of months, and I think this will be my standing moving forward, is that I do think that there should be a healthy monogamous shelf life for like a solid marriage, so you can still establish
we didn't reach that.
The kids are still enjoying the beauties of that romance. But after 20 to 25 years or some time period,
open that bitch up.
Y'all gotta just, take the monogamous chains off.
Open that bitch up. I'm for that. 10 years. 10 years. I'm saying marriage for 10 years, or 10 years after the kid, or after the kid graduates high school.
I'd probably do a solid 20. That's my thinking, is like a solid 20 to 25.
I got a question I've been thinking about. So I mean, one of the oldest professions is prostitution.
This is true.
So do you think prostitution leads to more healthier relationships? And I'm saying this because, especially in these days, I feel like sex is held to such a high standard or something by women, and they use that especially to control things until they give it up. And then once they feel like they've given it up, then they feel really vulnerable, and then it's kind of like the power dynamic. It switches to the guy control as far as how the relationship is gonna go. But if women know that like a dude can just go get sex anytime he wants, and that dude also knows like sex is not as a priority in this relationship with this woman, because I know I can just go get it, and now I really gotta really get to know her. I'm not like, my mind is not like, oh, I'm just trying to get some. Is it going to create better relationships overall?
Oh yeah. Sex, the scarcity of sex for men is such a powerful tool for women to use, and I kind of understand on their side. I do understand them using it because of the already mismatch and balance of power in society in the first place. For the vast history of people, women haven't really had much of a say, especially when it comes to like relationships or dealing with the opposite gender at all. So they have to use what they can, which is the scarcity of sex for men. But yeah, that's a humongous point. We don't need that as much now. And if you get rid of that fucking big ass fucking cloud of confusion for men, which is horniness, and then the need to get that nut out, then you can come at shit with a clear head and actually build a life with someone you really actually work with, not someone just dated because you wanted to fuck. I mean, back then, chucking back to the Catholic shit, people are marrying people just to fuck. Like, think about that. Like, people are rushing to commit their entire life with somebody just because they were waiting for marriage to have sex, and that fucking poison is just in them. Like, if you don't nut, dog, you don't know who you are. Imagine the first time getting post-nut clarity after you marry somebody.
That always just seems like the worst idea ever.
Like, at all. No disrespect to them. Like, it's just like my mind and what I thought this was hijacked by the need to have sex.
Like, you just learned something about yourself.
Yes. Imagine marrying someone that they don't.
That's why I don't think women understand how crazy we be thinking when we horny. Like, we be thinking crazy thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I really fuck with this girl. Like, she's dope. Like, this girl.
Yeah, I hate being around this person.
Shit, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, no, sometimes you realize, like, oh, wow, these things that I thought were interesting about this woman were just things I needed to convince myself of to stay here long enough to fuck.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing as a man, is like, you don't really know if the things you're interested in about her are real until after you fuck.
Yeah, women think we're tricking them too.
But also at the flip side, I think it's not necessarily something that makes us shitty as men, but like, I'd rather reframe it completely differently. It's just what makes us decisive. I think women actually who are in healthy relationships with men, they will always say about their male partner, something that drew me to them was his ability to be really decisive. Like, he knew he wanted me, and he made it happen. And that's why I love this man, right? Like, women appreciate that about us, but that's how we stay decisive. Like, that's the moment where men, if you know yourself and you are aware and you are at the top of your abilities, you will make the right decision because the timing will just give you that clarity. Like, when you nut, you will have that clarity. And really, immediately after that moment, in less than, I would say, 24 hours for sure, you know whether you want to be with that woman long term or not.
You do.
You just know.
Yeah, that's a weird truth.
That doesn't make us shitty, because if you think about it, if we were doing what some women would want us to do, which is just to not give into that, then you're forcing a lot of shitty relationships onto people where everybody just settles. And so it's like up to the man really to make the decision at that point. Even though I just realized a bunch of shit about you and me, we're still going to see this through because I have obligations to you now that we had sex, whether it's because like the Bible told us to, or fucking I feel awkward just dipping, or, you know, whatever the reason is that you can make up. Are you going to let that obligation determine your relationship, or are y'all going to determine your relationship? And I think it's up to the man to usually do that. And when men have to make the decision, it's not always the result that you would expect.
No,
but
especially because like women, I mean, the real truth is, well, one, that's just literally just how our body fucking works. We don't have control over that shit at all. Like, we try to gain control of it and we have more understanding of it with experience, but we don't have control of that shit at all. And women don't understand that because they don't understand what it's like to be in our body and deal with our hormones and shit like that, and exactly what that means and how that makes our minds and shit. But there's a negative connotation to splitting from women after we nut and get that post-nut clarity, because from their perspective, they feel like we tricked them. Like, they feel like we gave them a certain energy before we fucked, and after you fuck, everything changed just because we were putting on an act just to hit and shit like that. And that's a humongous misunderstanding. I think that's birthing a lot of unhealthy relationships. Yeah. Because the real truth is, we didn't know that we didn't actually like you until after we nut. It's not like we knew we didn't want to be with you and then we fucked and then like, exactly. Got you, bitch, peace. That's what our hormones are saying to me. Like, after we nut, my dick's saying, got you, nigga, peace. You don't like this bitch anymore. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know I didn't like you. I really, like, I'm as surprised as they are, but they think we tricked them. And like, that's where the whole player and fuckboy narrative came from. But the reality is, there's not a lot of actual players out there at all. There's just a lot of confused, horny men.
But some of my most depressed moments in life come from that realization. I've never hit the lowest of lows in life than having post-nut clarity and being like, wow, we just did all of this together. Now this woman is wildly in love with me, and I just found out this ain't what I want. And now I'm going to have to destroy this girl's heart. Like, because you could talk to her logically about like, hey, I just realized this is why it doesn't make sense. And she can agree with you logically from that moment. But the emotions is going to be so strong that she's going to be like, no, now we're going to get married.
What is with God, dog? Why he makes like this?
I don't know. I don't know why he set us up like this.
He almost made us as if like we are supposed to be together because it works for us to procreate, but then made it so all of our hormones don't match up fucking at all. Like, they made it so like we want this bitch so much before we have sex. And then when we have sex, we realize, I don't really want you like that. And then they made the exact opposite for women. Like, after they have sex, then they have the attachment to you when you're feeling detached. And it's the same thing to the fucking age-old debate about the orgasm gap. Like, I made niggas orgasm in 6 minutes, and said, all right, yeah, women, let's do that fucking 23 minutes. It's like, wait, why would you do that? Why not make it so we make sense together? It's so weird. Like, we're designed to be together, but we're not designed to be together.
We complement each other, but we're polar opposites. We're just polar opposites.
Yeah,
who complement.
but sometimes I compliment, don't be complimenting.
We definitely need each other.
Yes, but that's for sure. That you see that. That's one thing you see often too. Is a guy with no girl becomes fucking feral.
I feel like we just we fill in the gap for each other.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to raising kids. Like a woman's gonna be more compassionate and all that type of stuff. Where a man, you gotta learn. He's a boy or something like that.
And like, provider and all that shit.
You gotta learn this shit.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. I don't know about you. That makes you feel like a man, just providing. Like that shit. I like doing that type.
There's a reason for that. You're built that way. I mean, your genetics code, your genetic memory is that way. Like all your generations and generations and generations before you have all like fucking conditioned your DNA to work that way.
I feel like a lot of that is missed in today's discussion.
Yeah, well, because today we live in a society now where there's not much necessity for a lot of these roles, so a lot of these lines are getting blurred, which I do think is a good thing. We're so taking out of a lot of the necessities for just flat out survival that we can afford to like blend the gender roles and shit like that, and not have to go to like a structured form of raising kids or being together or any of that shit.
I do think we're a lot more independent now. Like the technology enabled us to be like that, which is great. Because now you don't have to, like, men don't have to depend on women as much for certain things, or women, more importantly, don't have to depend on men for jack shit anymore if they don't want to. Like they can do everything on their own, which is amazing.
It's great.
And I think that is something we got to celebrate. But with that independence comes with people having higher and higher standards. Sometimes those standards might be more unreasonable. So that's why I do think we're progressing and moving towards a society that is like either there's these people who are going to be in these amazing, like if they do get married and all this stuff, they're going to be in these amazing like 50, 60-year relationships where it's a beautiful thing. But like also now we as a society, if we want a healthy society, we got to accept the idea that you don't need the nuclear family to say that you've lived a successful existence. I think like back in the day, you know, parents would train their kids to be like, yeah, you know, you have to get married to somebody of the opposite gender, and you want to have like 2 kids, and you want to have family. And like, if you don't do that, like we're all going to think you're kind of fucking weird. And I don't think that where we live at now in society, that's the right thing to do. And secondly, if I had to be honest about what this independence has brought us, I think it's brought people who are a lot more willing to be sexually curious and just be comfortable being single their whole lives, which is the logical conclusion for us to come to. But like, we're still fighting those old tropes, like the old guard, because I do still meet a lot of people who have that pressure where it's like, okay, you know, I have to get married at this certain time, or like, oh, I've been dating this girl for a certain amount of time, so like now I have to marry her, and like, you know, I've known her since high school, so now we're gonna have kids.
It makes sense for that to be a hard thing to fight, though. It doesn't have like to. It's not something that's gonna go away overnight, because that's it's generations and generations and generations worth of conditioning. Like it's thousands of years worth of conditioning I'm talking about. Like it's a lot to overcome in one generation. I actually think it's going away a lot faster than I would expect it. Like society is changing fucking fast. Like in my lifetime, I'm only fucking 28.
Yeah, I agree.
When you think about the long history of society and shit like that, like that's a small slither of time for this much change to have happened.
But I'm with it, man. I think in the case of Drake, though, for example, right? Like Drake is living a great life.
Yeah.
Has a son, didn't need to have a family for that case. His baby mama is great. You know what I mean? They have a great cordial relationship. That didn't happen from the most, I guess, Disney-like of scenarios, but they still got a functioning thing, and Drake gets to be the best Drake. Like, imagine if Drake had to be in this shitty, settled relationship with his baby mom.
Yes, because she got a girl pregnant.
Yeah, and like the circumstances of all of that and everything, and it's like he's got to live in that permanently. Like, we wouldn't be getting the same quality of Drake music.
I don't think you get the same quality of kid either, because the kid grows up with its role model and its male like view of what life is, watching a subdued male who's not doing like what he wants to do and living like a kind of a miserable life.
Yeah, I think it's just about figuring it out for yourself, knowing yourself, and then like being transparent about your terms, like when you get in a relationship. Because like shit, I've made this mistake when I was younger. You get into a relationship because you have expectations of certain things for yourself. Y'all got together, y'all were flirting, like everybody around you thought y'all would be very cute together. Now it's like almost like y'all are put together, and it's this thing that society is expecting y'all to keep together, but in reality, y'all enjoy being together, but like this isn't what everybody's expecting you.
In that context.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In that context. And now all of a sudden you're just battling pressure, and all the pressure is external. If I was just really honest about this stuff, we wouldn't have to keep doubling down on a subpar relationship.
Right.
Even though everybody else thinks we're the shit.
Yeah, you're preaching. Yes. that the honest truth might be you guys were at your best when you were just at that casual level.
Right.
And it's fucked up when external pressures change shit that only changes your life. That's the same thing with parents and shit too. And maybe wherever the pressures are coming from, that's not from you and the person you're working with.
With that being said, Sterlz, I don't know about you, but in about a month and a half, I plan on impregnating at least somebody in Europe. We're going to touch down in London town here in about a month and a half.
Pick up a young you.
Yeah. I might have to put one down for the Manda. You know what I mean? Yes, right.
Man, have to.
Well, what happens if the child support?
I'll be like, oh, there's an issue with the currency. The currency is not converting. And like at the end of the day, I'll just be like, blame the British Empire, because you really can't blame the British Empire for everything. Like, and they fucking deserve it because they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just be like, Dad, why did you leave me? I'll be like, imperialism, son. Don't blame King Charles.
Imperialism. Blame the Queen.
I'm hurting, bro. I got colonized, bro. I got trauma.
I'm on the same wavelength, so I'm with it.
A real thing. What is it about leaving your country that just makes men want to spread their seed? Because I'm on the exact same way. Like, it's just, I feel like it's a natural thing that comes from somewhere. Because like that's
absolutely, bro. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier on this podcast, man. We are literally biologically wired for conquest. We're literally biologically wired for conquest.
Oh, that is it. That's it. It's genetic memory still. Like I said before.
So when we go over to somebody else's territory, the first thing that a man thinks of is like, oh, this shit would be nice if it was all mine.
And the fucking second or third step to that is fuck their women, spread their seed.
Yes.
Exactly.
Make the next ruler because they're yours, and then that land is yours. If we and everybody, if all the black people just fucking go to Korea right now and kill all the men and fuck all the women, and 4 generations from now everybody in Korea is black, guess what? Korea's ours now. And that's how you do it. It's spreading seed, and all that genetic memory from the years of conquest and shit like that is in us biologically. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for that because like Blasians are my ultimate weakness.
Oh man.
I done seen some fine Blasian women out there in Houston.
They do be bad. They're as far as like
Los Angeles
combinations that don't mess up. That's gotta be up there to the top. Like Blasians, just you don't like see no ugly. Like it's bad.
Absolutely. You're right, Sterlz. They're consistent. There's no misses on the plate.
You know what's an underrated combination? Which I feel like you don't see it as much? Dog, Black Russians.
Ooh.
I'm telling you.
I need to see what that's about. I've never seen that.
Fine. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Fine. Yeah, ridiculously fine. I feel like you don't see that mix as often, but there's high efficiency in that.
Russians be having a lot of supermodels. They be having some bad chicks.
Yeah, they got pretty ass faces, man. They do.
We done seen some at Coachella, sir.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A lot of talent coming out of Sochi.
I was about to say, some dude on the cruise told me that Latvia, that's where the baddies are.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. I've been hearing that too. Like that area of Europe where it's like Croatia, Latvia.
Yeah, Eastern Bloc.
That area. Yeah, that area's got some underrated talent.
They really do.
He was like, yeah, they fuck with American black men, not that. He specifically told me that. Like, shit, I'm gonna have to go.
Oh, we in there, bro. Shit, that might be the next stop.
Them? Oh yeah, I'm with it. I'm the exotic one to them. Shit, what's up,
man?
Dude, I heard actually renting a yacht out there is not as crazy as you would think. Like the price is pretty cheap. I don't know, bro. Next Europe trip, we might have to make that happen. Little Latvia, Croatia trip. It's also beautiful out there. I don't know if you guys have seen. I mean, we're talking about the right side of Greece,
Eastern Europe.
So this is like beautiful sea waters. Like it could happen, man. That's why you got to go visit, see what it's like, and then all of a sudden, man, stack your US dollars because them shits is only gonna get stronger over time. Our economy is doing so much better than everybody else right now.
Oh, ridiculous. My girl's in Greece now, and she's saying it's fucking crazy how far our dollar goes there, our US dollar goes there.
We just need to stay that way for 2 more months.
Yeah. It went to Germany. It was like 1.4 or something.
But I think when Switzerland, like the franc, our dollar went up way farther there, if I remember right.
I can see that. Yeah, I don't know where the currencies are now. I just know that the rest of the economies, especially the UK, like the UK is doing pretty rough right now. I think I heard really recently, I think the Netherlands just recently entered into a recession. So Sterling, perfect timing. Like, I think we really about to touch down, and like it's about to be like 2008 over there. So we gonna run it up. But hey, man, I wanted to end it on this because I know we've been going on for some time. But I don't work at Time Magazine, but I would like to just make this pitch right now. I do think that the winner for the Time Magazine Person of the Year this year should go to Sexy Red. Time Magazine, you know who you have to make the Person of the Year. That's got to be Sexy Red.
Oh, are we starting this movement right now? Sexy Red for Person of the Year?
Yes, absolutely. Because how is she not?
Yo, if you're listening to this, petition for this shit. Go to Time Magazine, write them letters. Go on Instagram, flood their comments. Respond to their stories. Tell them, I'm not buying your fucking magazine if I don't see a pink pussy and a brown booty hole on your cover.
Exactly. She's the only woman on Earth throughout how many years we've been on this planet? Like hundreds of thousands of years?
Humans?
Maybe less than a million, right?
I think it's 200,000.
Throughout our 200,000 year existence, this is the first moment in time I've seen men say, I will willingly get an STD just to have a chance at this. I've never, ever in my life seen a woman so polarizing, grab so much of the attention that is our zeitgeist, but she's got it, and I like where she's doing with it. Just keep going. We need to protect her like people protect the Pope.
I agree with that. Keep going, sexy. I fuck with her. This is a personality. It's really crazy what women have been doing. Fucking low-key just taking over hip-hop in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
These days, the only hip-hop artists that pop are women, like new ones.
Yeah, I agree. All the new rap artists are women.
That's the era of new male artists was like the Lil Babies and Dirks and shit like that, and that's like they're already legacy acts.
Yeah.
But a lot of the shit that pops is coming from Latin markets, coming from Afro beats, it's coming from the Europe shit. It's coming a lot from externally now, which I do think is a good thing. It's probably just us being more open to other countries and collaborations like that. Music is great. Sexy Red for Time Magazine Person of the Year.
I do too, man. I really love everything about her, man. She just be working real hard. I just be proud of her. Just be looking at her and just be like that. That is the best that America has to offer.
Yes. I love her confidence.
It's like when Sha'Carri just won again, because that's what she does.
I was just about to say that. She reminds me of Sha'Carri Richardson, so I feel the same thing looking at both of them.
Fact.
I feel the
For
same
real,
thing
bro.
looking at both of
They
them.
just be making me so proud. Like,
For
yes, that is the best that America has to offer. And with that being said, we're gonna wrap this one up. We love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.